Hello and welcome. So it is a Wednesday and it is a patch day, and we are back looking at what the changes are. So we had the live stream yesterday and we have the patch landing today, so I'm going to go through that with you. Also a bit later on I have a code which is for 50 Artisans memories, so stick around because you do not want to miss out on 50 Artisans memory, as they are incredibly expensive to be purchasing, relatively speaking. So I will give you that code a bit later on. Also, there's a few thoughts that I have on sort of imperial cooking and sort of ways to make money now, so stick around for that as well, and I'll go into that for you. Now, if you are brand new to the channel, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because subscribing means that you will be kept up to date with all the latest news, tips and tricks for Black Desert on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. Okay, let's get started. So today's patch on the 29th of April brings a whole host of new content and changes. So let's dig in. So adventurers, a new update has made its way to Black Desert console. This update brings a guild boss version of Garmouth, class balance changes and more. Garmouth, the fearsome tyrant of Dragonese skies, is now available as a guild boss fight. Garmouth is one of the only dragon survivors of the Great Dragon Wars. He was healed to health due to a devout Kagtum, who treat Garmouth as if she is a god. Take up the challenge of vanquishing Dragon's greatest threat and you will be rewarded handsomely. You'll be able to guild summon Garmouth once per week, and it will require 5 scroll pieces in order to summon her. Garmouth only has 1 difficulty level in the new guild boss system, and will have higher stats than the version of Garmouth you fought in the story. After defeating Garmouth, you have a chance of getting the following items. So we have a load of items, including Garmouth's Horn, Garmouth's Heart, along with a load of other bits and pieces, which I'll not go into specifically, which they're the reasonable items, but not all of them are notable. So guild changes. So this update will see multiple changes to guild functionality, bringing in a new guild boss system. Guild houses also have guild elephants, which can be used in Node and Conquest Wars. Right, so your guild boss subjugation, the dev note states, as the GM notes introduced, Garmouth will be making his way. Just to point out, they cannot decide on the gender of Garmouth at this point. It's literally within the 2 minutes of text hitting, we have Garmouth referred to as a he and a she, so come on guys, a little bit of consistency wouldn't go amiss. Anyway, Garmouth will be making her way to Black Desert console as a guild boss. With this comes a rework of the guild boss UI to make it more intuitive and make it easier for guild leaders to see progress of their boss subjugation missions. In addition to this, we are replacing Essence of Fury with Summon Scroll Fragments, what will automatically be added to your guild's account. This helps us to open up more guild warehouse slots, as they will no longer be clogged up with various boss scrolls. So that's a nice quality of life change there, being able to have those automatically added there, not having to worry about that space. And lastly, with this change, guilds of any size will be able to tackle guild bosses at a difficulty that they feel comfortable with. This way, even small guilds can challenge the higher guild bosses to achieve higher levels of rewards. A big change is coming to guild bosses. Not only is Garmouth becoming a guild boss, but the whole system is being reworked. You can now locate guild bosses in the boss tab that can be found in the guild window. Okay, so we've got a overview of what the new UI looks like, and very pleasing on the eyes, that's for sure. Essence of Fury is being replaced with scroll pieces. These scroll pieces will automatically be added to your guild and will no longer be an item that you need to hold/store. When you have enough scroll pieces needed to summon a boss, 2 new boxes will appear in the guild boss image, allowing you to navigate to the location, and also a button to summon the monster. For bosses with multiple difficulty levels, you can change the difficulty when you are standing in the location where the guild boss can be summoned. Guild bosses can only be summoned once a week. Each server has a limit to the amount of guild bosses that can be summoned at a time, and if this error message appears, you can either switch servers or try again later. Now, what they mentioned in the live stream was that, first of all, the guild bosses, they reset on Sunday. So it's you could do one on Saturday and then you could do one on Sunday at some or there or thereabouts. So yeah, so there's that. And the other thing they mentioned was that in terms of the limit, they said that the limit was 1 per server. Okay, so there is going to be an actual hard limit there to how many bosses are going to be on there. So 1 per server at a time. Okay. Right, so unlike the Essence of Fury, scroll pieces and the number of bosses summoned will reset at the following times. Oh, like I was just saying. Okay, so NA, Sundays at 12 AM, Mondays 11:59. Yeah, so there we go. Sundays it's resetting. Any remaining guild boss items can be used the same way as previously. So there's also now they've introduced some life skill guild quests as well they said because they want to accommodate to the life skilling guild, which I think is pretty cool, pretty awesome of them to do so, kind of being very inclusive within the game. So essentially they're all gathering quests. So you're gathering weeds, azaleas, herbs, and milk. So as tedious as every other subjugation, except more focused towards the life skill guilds, which like I say is nice. We've also cleaned up the guild UI mission objectives to help clarify the objectives of this text. Good. Guild boss improvements. With these changes, we're also going to be adding new items that can be gained from defeating the guild bosses Giant, Mudster and Lava Chief Ferid. So Stone of Malice will drop from Giant Mudster guild boss. This stone is infused with the painful memories of the people who became the Mudsters, and it can be used to make the magical crystal of infinity skill. This magical crystal can be infused into a helmet piece and will give the wearer plus 10% skill XP gained. To create the crystal, you'll need the following items and use the alchemy tool with the following recipe. So Fruit of Destruction ×2, Magic Crystal of Crimson Flame Power ×1, Ruby ×2, Everlasting Herb ×6, and Stone of Malice. Energy of all creations. One of the few holy grails of alchemy will synthesize the energy of all creations. Nobody knows where this energy comes from or why Ferid seems to have it, but Olastin successfully discovered a way to synthesize the energy into the breath of all creations. Guild boss Lava Chief drops the energy of all creations, and then you can perform simple alchemy to create one of the 4 breath of all creations. So use simple alchemy with the following ingredients: energy of all creations ×1, oil of fortitude ×20, mystical spirit powder ×20. Now, depending on the energy used, you can obtain an breath. I'll try again. Depending on the energy used, you can obtain a breath of all creations with one of the following effects: all AP plus 70, attack/casting speed plus 20%. All damage reduction plus 300, movement speed plus 20%, jump plus 2 meters, fall damage minus 50%. The effects of the breath of all creations last 10 minutes and will persist even if your character dies. It also has a cooldown of 240 minutes that is shared across all the breath of all creatures. The buffs given will also not stack with pure black stones, so be careful when using these precious items. Once created, you have 14 days to use Breath of All Creations. So there we go. Okay, guild houses. So guild masters can now bid for guild houses at the guild house auction. For guild masters to lay down an opening bid on a guild house, they will need to talk to the guild managers in different towns. From there, you can input a bid from one of the guild houses in that town. Guild houses offer you and your guild a place to congregate together and will allow you to craft guild items through the processing window. You will need to combine your resources together in order to create different items. For example, to craft a guild registration Valencia elephant, you will need to craft the guild timber for fixing the cage. This will require 3000 usable scantling. To craft these items, it may be better to have multiple people crafting them in a guild house, and when using the processing window to craft them, depositing the results in the guild storage. You will need a good house in Valencia to begin training elephants. To unlock different aspects of the guild crafting system, you will need to learn the new guild skills that allow you to create equipment for your guild. For example, you will need the Monstrous Force skill in order to unlock the Elephant Nursery, allowing you to start work on getting your guild elephant. Okay, so guild auction time available every even week. So these are the times, blah blah blah. Valencian elephants. Through the guild house system, you can produce Valencia elephants. Elephants are effective war machines in Node and Conquest Wars, as are most effective at destroying defensive structures like barricades. In order to begin the process of owning an elephant, you will need to obtain the guild skill Monstrous Force and also have access to a guild house. One of the materials needed is a guild baby elephant, which can be obtained by catching wild baby elephants in Valencia. Once captured, you will need to register a stable keeper, who will then add the guild baby elephant, which you can put in your guild storage. Carefully, baby elephants are heavy, so make sure you carry 800 weight on your character. Wow. Valencian elephants have skills like other mounts, but cannot be leveled up, so the skills they are born with will forever be their skills. Elephants can carry up to 3 adventurers, with 1 adventurer controlling the elephant, and the 2 others throwing spears to knock back their opponents. That is so awesome. While riding the elephant, the people on the back of it cannot be harmed. That is so cool. I kind of want one. To increase your elephant's effectiveness on the battlefield, you can craft elephant gear in the guild house. For further information, please refer to the GM notes. Node and Conquest Wars. We would like to thank all those adventurers who've helped us get a fix for the PlayStation 4 North American Node Wars. Wow, this has been a long time coming. Your feedback regarding the issue, the videos and reports in general, have been extremely helpful in creating a solution to the issue. A fix has been applied so that all PlayStation 4 North American players should now be able to damage forts. The fix for this issue has been a long time coming. You are not kidding. And we're incredibly grateful for the patience that many of you have shown during these issues. We will be sending 2 premium elixir boxes of 50 shiny medals of honour to PlayStation 4 users on the North American server as a thank you. We will be ringing 48-hour golden bells over the weekend for North American servers only. Wooden fences have now been added to the guild store. Wooden fences can only be used before the beginning of Conquest Wars and are higher and stronger than normal barricades. Those friendly forces who are inside your base can use platforms inside. So, yeah, I mean, this, I think it's been absolutely ridiculous how long it has taken them to fix the issues that we faced on North American servers with people not being able to hit the fort. It's been an absolute joke. When, bearing in mind, I'm in Europe, but playing on the North American servers, strangely, I personally could hit these barricades and I could hit the fort. So there was maybe 2 or 3 of us in our guild at the time that could actually only do damage to the forts, which was insane to think that we couldn't, as a guild, take out a fort. It was an absolute utter joke. Incredibly infuriating situation, and like I say, it's absolutely insane that they've taken this long to fix it. They did mention in the live stream that there was something to do with accuracy, so I think they've misapplied a variable somewhere they've taken forever to locate, but they did not confirm specifically what the problem was. Right, so tomes have been added to Black Desert Console. Tomes offer different buffs for standard equipment such as weapons and armors. The Adventurer's Tome is the first tome you will get, and will increase to the Prognal Silver Bar gain by 20%. To obtain this tome, you will need to reach level 53 and talk to the Black Spirit, who will offer you the quest Black Spirit Gift Adventurer's Tome. You'll only need to be level 53 the first time you collect the Adventurer's Tome, and after that, other characters in your family will be able to earn the tome. Once you obtain this tome, you will you can equip it to any character or proceed with the quest to unlock the Chenga Shuriken Tome of Wisdom. This item can be transferred between your characters and cannot be restored once deleted. If you wish to receive another one, you'll need to redo the quest line to get it. To begin the quest line, you will need to talk to Aljay, who resides in Dragon, just west of Harash Cliff. Follow the quest line to its completion and you'll be rewarded with the Chenga Crystal of Wisdom, which with simple alchemy can turn the Adventurer's Tome into the Chenga Shuriken Tome of Wisdom. So this was something they showed us on the live stream as well to let us know where this was. And on the map it looked like the start of the quest was near Nightcrow Post, so just to sort of give you a bit more of a cross-reference there. Right, so silver bars, increase of 20%, combat grade EXP obtained through quest reward plus 30, vision range at 150 meters. With this item equipped, you can earn more EXP from quests that offer EXP as a reward, making leveling up your characters even easier than before. Now, this is going to be absolutely fantastic, because if you're not aware, you probably should be, the best way to level yourself up in the later levels of the game, from say like 56, 57 through towards level 60, is to do the side quests. It makes you can literally go through many, 2-3 levels just on the side quests from like around Caltheon, for example. Each of these quests rewards XP, and you just literally grind out hundreds and hundreds of these quests. It takes like maybe 3 or 4 hours to do. As you can get this this tome at level 53, that means that by the time that you're ready to be doing the side quest again, that EXP, you're actually going to be getting a little bit extra boost from that EXP as well. So it's going to level you up a lot quicker. You're going to be able to get more EXP for your money, as it were. So I would certainly, if you're a new player who's just leveling up, then hold off doing your side quests until you've got this Chenga tome. Okay, because that will greatly benefit you. Now, I'm not sure if that's like a flat 30 EXP points or 30% or whatever, but let's just assume it's the smaller of the two. But yeah, right. Other item changes. What have we got? Fix an issue where the displayed attack power of Elsha Longsword was different from the actual attack power. That's boring. The following items can be purchased in larger quantities on the central market. Blah blah blah, boring. Quest changes. We have added ways to obtain knowledge of Dorin Morgrim, who is easily the best blacksmith on the continent. You can head into Helms, find the blacksmith, and he will reward you with knowledge. Okay, cool. We've also added a small one-time per family gift of enhancement materials when completing Medaya. This reward will include Valk's Advice and Valk's Cry in varying quantities. Again, that is pretty cool. So hopefully that's going to be a retroactive application of the reward. So half expecting to log in and see gifts that have come through, giving many people these rewards. Content changes. We've made changes to the distribution of byproducts in cooking and alchemy. Okay, this is cool. So this is what I was referring to in terms of the imperial cooking and profit that I was going to discuss previously. So let me just go through this and I'll talk about that. So dev note, cooking and alchemy byproducts are one of the first contents of Black Desert, which reflected our philosophy that any kind of content can lead to a character's growth. However, as we expanded upon byproducts, they occupied a large amount of space and also affected the weight of your characters to transport them. We have been considering narrowing down the variety of byproducts while enhancing the concept as we tried to improve the convenience of the game for players. We have tried to keep this new system as balanced as possible with the current system. However, the contribution EXP was already very high and this ratio may have been decreased. May have been decreased? and therefore we are continuing to tweak the system and provide ways to make cooking and alchemy more meaningful in future updates. All byproducts have been removed and replaced with the Witch's Delicacy for cooking and the Mysterious Catalyst for alchemy. Essentially, these items are replacing the byproducts. Well, previously with the byproducts, you could replace specific byproducts for specific things. So you could be getting like milk or gold or contribution EXP or cooking EXP or the equivalents for the alchemy thing. Now what they're doing is you get the one item which can be exchanged for, so beer, milk, contribution EXP and cooking EXP. Okay, so you get to choose which ones that you are exchanging them for. Same for the alchemy, it's the similar kind of thing. You get your liquid reagents, your power of darkness, your contribution EXP and alchemy EXP. So that's that. Now the thing that I found it. Now I've not done a lot of alchemy. Okay, I'm more focused on cooking for the imperial trading. So one of the things that you find in imperial cooking is that you face a lot of bottlenecks for things, and that prevents you from profiting from the more lucrative items. One of those bottlenecks is milk. Now, because we are condensing all of the byproducts into one, it allows you to then choose which reward for the hand-in that you're getting. This opens up the avenue where you can be opting to go down the route of milk. So instead of getting, say, like a quarter of the available rewards as milk, you're now potentially getting like 4 times more milk. So with milk being that byproduct, it allows you to then go on and craft the Master's Milk Tea cooking box. So you'll be able to craft many more of these now because of those turn-ins. There will be more available because you need tea with fine scent, flour, milk, and cooking honey. Now, everything other than that milk is readily available and easily accessible. It's just been the milk. Now, these turn-ins go for over 500,000 each turn-in. That's probably one of the highest of the imperial cooking hand-ins that you can possibly get. So, compared to the 200,000 or so that you get from the other hand-ins, this is more significant. So I just kind of feel that take advantage of this. If you're already cooking and doing your imperial hand-ins, then maybe broaden your range of products that you've got, because now this is more viable, because the bottleneck is widened. It hasn't gone, but it has widened, so it allows you more, so you'll be able to profit more from this. Right, so you can exchange Witch's Delicacy with Nadia Rowan of Olvia and the Mysterious Catalyst with Boffin of Olvia. So you need to head over to Olvia in order to get those exchanged. If you have any of the pre-existing byproducts, you can exchange these as normal. Their weight has been changed to 0.01 to allow you to carry them easier to the exchange NPC. We've also added the risk asset management banks to various cities across Black Desert. The risk asset management banks come in 2 forms: Safe Asset Management Bank and Risk Asset Management Bank. These will allow you to use gold bars and workers to possibly gain more income depending on the markets. Safe Asset Management Bank will generally return small but stable returns, whereas the Risk Asset Management Bank will offer large returns but can also generate losses. Okay, so you're looking at Velia, Heidel and Calfian for the Safe Asset Management Bank locations, and the Risk Asset Management locations looking at Altinova and Valencia. So a nice little way to generate an income and maybe a little bit of a gamble. I don't know about the quantities, quite frankly, but presumably you'll be able to invest what you wish, and the return will be based on your investment, essentially. We're also changing the compensation that is rewarded when completing the Belenos, Serendia and Calfian main quests. We are changing the gold bars that are rewarded to the following items. In Belenos, you get the Batali gold bar, Serendia, Lauren family's gold bar, and Calfian gold bar from the Citizens Bank. Each of these items can be exchanged at storage keepers across Black Desert for 1,000,000 silver. So would be just easier if you gave us 1,000,000 silver, but whatever. I'm not sure if these would be kind of retroactively awarded either. I guess we've already been rewarded for these might be difficult to quantify any loss or whatever, but I don't imagine that these will be retroactively awarded, but we'll see. UI changes. We've made some more changes to the user interface of Black Desert. First up is we have added a way for players to see where their contribution points are invested. Thank God. You can access this function by pressing triangle/Y in the world map screen. So that is good, because the amount of times I have seen threads saying like I can't find my contribution, this is refreshing. It is very refreshing. Okay, so the other changes, they've kind of squished the screens down a little bit, made them a little bit smaller, changed the layout, made them longer as opposed to wider, which kind of feels a little balmy to me, but it's with wide screens versus it seems daft that they've made them taller than wide. But the one thing that I've noticed that here is this is just star sign. Now previously, before this patch, there's a quest, and it's part of the Camasylvia quest line, and as part of that quest line, and this was previously the most stupid quest that was possible, right? It basically has a riddle, and within that riddle you have to type a number, and that number is based on your star sign. So for example, the camel, you can see here it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you would just type in the chat 7, because if your star sign is camel, that's basically what the answer is. It's all the stars in your particular sign. Each sign has a number of stars. The problem was that before this particular change, it didn't show you that information. There was no way to find that information on the game, with the exception of going in, creating a brand new character, going through the different star signs, and kind of gauging because it was very faint, it wasn't obvious. You could easily, because there's other stars around us, which you could easily kind of misinterpret the sort of a lightened area on the star sign for a star. So it certainly wasn't without its problems, and that was the absolute only way that I know of in the game that you could find this. Like, it's actually easier to look online and find the answer to that particular quest, but now that's in there, at least they've given you the answer to the riddle. Not necessarily an obvious way, but you have it there. So that's kind of, I'm pleased. I'm less angry at the situation now that that's there. Okay, general character changes. Now, I'm not necessarily going to go through all of these character changes. I'm just going to scroll through these, but there's changes to the warrior, changes to the sorceress, changes to the ranger, berserker, changes to the tamer, changes to the Maywar. The witch, I believe, is a nerf. Yeah, magic arrow's been nerfed. Same with wizard. Changes to the ninja and the kunoichi and the dark knight and the striker and the archer and the lan. Blah blah blah. Other changes. The descriptions when exchanging horses has been modified. Notification when inquiring better equipment, inventory wearing on them, blah blah blah. Social actions have been added. Nothing really interesting. This, that, and the other quality of life stuff, like added a way to move the fairy UI when inspecting sweet honey wine. Blah blah blah. Okay, nothing there. So that is the long and short of the patch notes there. So other things that you may have be raising some questions, or you may be asking yourself questions about, like Garmouth, for example, and why is it restricted to kind of guild only? Because with all your other world bosses, Kazaka and Karanda, etc., you don't need a guild. You can just rock up and have fun. People will be there. But why are they restricting to just guilds? I mean, it doesn't seem fair for players who are lone wolves. Now, I'm innately one of those players, although I am in a guild. I do kind of favour the solo play more than anything else. What they've said on the stream is essentially that we have been asking for more guild stuff, and that's the reason, the motivation behind doing this is because we as a community have asked for this. but they are looking at other ways of allowing the lone wolf to kind of join in, essentially. So they didn't sort of go through any sort of specifics, but they hinted that there might be some kind of like GM guild kind of setup. So presumably the GMs would go and spawn and allow people to fight and so on. But yeah, they are aware that people will be upset with this, and are trying to plan some kind of solution in. Okay, so something else that was mentioned that's not in the patch notes. There is a enhanced value attendance reward which you can run alongside the actual reward, and what this includes is a new pet, inventory expansion, advice of Valks plus 50, and at the end of it you're looking at a value pack. So they didn't specify how long the value pack's for, but you know, value pack given is a value pack that you don't have to buy. So don't forget to log in every day. Do you like dyeing your armors? If so, you can grab from the loyalty store a colourful dye at random each day for 1 loyalty. So that's something that else was mentioned. Now there's a Matryoshka doll event. So you essentially get pieces of the doll, you take a quest, and you can choose whether you want to go down one route for like hards and one route for sharps, and it sounds a bit random. I don't know the specific details of this, but you can get yourself, it sounds like a kind of a, you know how you have different tiers within the game, you start for the basic and it goes high, like the fairies, you have the different tiers. It sounds like you have the Matryoshka dolls, they have different tiers, and as a reward you could get items, or you can get the next level of Matryoshka doll, essentially. So it sounds like there's a very slim chance, but you could get to the highest tier, and that would give you memory fragments and cron stones, and hards or sharps. So that's something to pay attention to as well. You know, because we can't argue at memory fragments and cron stones. Hot time event as well. So your combat skill XP and drop rate plus 50%. This is not going to be working on Arsha. There appears to be the glorious Shudad is set to be landing after this patch. Now, not really paying much attention to what's been going on in relation to this, quite frankly. But from what I understand is that people who pre-ordered the Ultimate, they will get the glorious Shudad in this after this maintenance is over. I wasn't 100% sure on that, but that's what I've concluded because I've not really researched it in any greater detail. They did mention the Guardian is not ready just yet. And finally, the 50 Artisans, the code. So we are looking at code from producer, so that is FROMPRODUCER. Freddy, Romeo, Oscar, Mike, Papa, Romeo, Oscar, Delta, Uniform, Charlie, Echo, Romeo. So that's 50 Artisans. Stick that in and enjoy. Right, if you have made it through to the end of this incredibly long video, which is probably about 30-40 minutes after I have finished editing this, then you are an absolute champion. So thank you for watching through, and if I haven't earned your subscription now, then let me know in the comments why not. If you are already a subscriber, then thanks for coming by. I appreciate the return visits. One thing I would like to kind of mention, which I'm a little bit butthurt about, quite frankly, is that on the live stream, the guys mentioned that they have a new wave of partners that have been added to their partner pool. People that they said they were really pleased that I'm making exclusive console content. This didn't include Blackout here, and I'm a little bit butthurt at that, because I've been producing content since the early stages of the console, and yeah, so anyway, I'm sad. Anyway, okay guys, I will see you in the next one. Thanks for sticking by.